Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
Yes, Jah people, this is Michael Shemai representing. I will say, heal the lions, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it. I Jollifer said that.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here, hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Jono, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head started to hurt me too. Like, what now could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? Get your samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Haile Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, you know, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, it's beautiful.
continent. Better control Mama Africa.
Very beautiful.
From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I seen Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youths them economy. We dismantle Babylon monopoly. We teach the youths them how to live properly. Tell them make sure them got the title for them property.
Yes, this beautiful continent. Better control Mama Africa. From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I love you, Mama. Your heart never harden. I wanna turn all your slums into garden. I wanna stop all of your youths from starving. I wanna stop all of your tribes from warring. So much to say, so many feelings. We both been hurt, we both need healing. Since the League of Nations you've been appealing. You stand up against them backdoor dealing. I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. The King of Kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. Elected himself, virtual ruler. Hey yo! Yeah, hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just up in them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion we come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka the Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the special edition of the Lion's Voice. Welcome to the Lion's Voice, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Tonight we have a special broadcast. We welcome historian, veteran broadcaster, elder, also part of with family too. We give thanks. When I said he was family, the them thought I was just talking. No, he's family and regular contributor on this platform now. This is his third appearance. Many people in the comments have been saying, bring forward Bongo Jerry. I miss him on the radio waves. We want to hear Bongo Jerry. So I try to deliver family. You know what I mean? I'm just a humble servant of Kadamari Haile Selassie. I just so happen to be called to rise up Rastafari independent non-aligned media in this Armageddon time. You know what I mean? We get that call and we answer the call faithfully. So when the people demand to see our elder, I'm going to call my elder and try to deliver on that demand. That is a natural um, step of obedience. So tonight, get your ital snacks. Make sure your meditation is right. We are going up in some history. We are going to touch on to the celestial realms of one of the most important war. The beast make war with the lamb. Black king on the throne, the ancient throne of Ethiopia, calling to the diaspora, the same Rastafari that had reached out to Marcus Garvey in 1918, and in the 20s, the same Rastafari that was rapidly modernizing education in the realm. We're going there tonight, family, like no one else can. You know, Bongo Jerry, I'm going to give it the deep, deep history. I'm coming as a student. You know, this is Iman area, but I'm coming as a student. Before we get started, though, let me just take time to big up the Lion Pride. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you subscribe to the platform, you're part of the Lion Pride. We're the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet. We are rapidly approaching 40,000 strong in the Lion Pride. So I want to big up everyone. We'll probably be at 38,000 by the end of this broadcast. Big up all of the followers, subscribers, well-wishers, watch and peep, everyone. Big up John Rogers, Reverend John Rogers. I just find out Reverend, the latest to join our Lion Pride on Patreon. Family, the economic engine. Big up Frontline Book Publishing. We just did an episode with Raseku Tafari. Frontline Book Publishing coming on board as an official sponsor of the Lion Voice Network. So we are doing once a month. 3 books we'll be selecting, and we're asking our Lion Pride to purchase the books. We are really bigging up physical books, and you see I have the Reading Ras merchandise. So you can go to the website and get the Reading Ras t-shirts. We're pushing physical book reading on this platform, so we stay, all right? Physical books. The internet can crash at any time. Physical books are part of every Rastafari trad. We have to read. Big up all of the sponsors. Brother Carl Philpotts also coming on board as a sponsor. We'll have the link for his book. We're going to make sure we start including it in the description. Brother Carl Philpotts, one of the books that was, you know, as a young Ras, seminal in our trad. And we're opening to all, you know, different ones with your products or services as Rastafari, as Pan-African people. This platform is available for the IDEM to build our Rastafari ecosystem. No one is coming to save us. If we don't tell our story, then the story will always glorify the hunter, or in this case, the colonial master. So we have to have our own robust media apparatus and give thanks to everyone who sees that vision and is supporting the vision. We want to scale this. So we have staff and professional. Bongo Jerry have his own program where he can just talk anything where he want to talk, and we don't worry about, you know, mainstream. You know what I mean? We have a whole heap of elders like that. So give thanks to everyone who has been supporting all of the Lion Pride. You know how we do it here. When you come into the comments, just let us know where you're watching from. Check in. We have people from all over the globe that watch this platform. It's becoming a rallying point and an unity, and we're humbled by that. Big up Ras Lidge and Ras Woolde, all of the other sponsors, and everyone. Again, we're getting ready to have our first Lion Pride on Patreon town hall meeting. So join the Patreon if you want to be a part of that. They're going to be helping us to select guests, select topics, We're opening up some of that to the community because no one man can be an island, and we want to reflect really the global family as Rastafari. We evolve and we grow together. So we have a lot happening. This month is African Liberation Month. Daddy Bosco episode is there, the president of the Rastafari Continental Council. Tomorrow we'll have the first clip of Ras Benji from Fairfield House talking about the liberation in His Majesty in Bath, England, and what that journey was like. Haile Selassie at his lowest point. We're going to touch on that tonight too. You know, how do you keep your dignity at your low point in your life? All of these topics we'll touch in depth tonight. So big up everyone, and I'm so elated. So without further ado, housekeeping out of the way. Again, give us a warm Lion Pride welcome for our elder, the griot, the historian, legendary broadcast legend out of Jamaica, Jerry Small. Welcome. Royal blessings.
You can hear me now?
Perfect.
Yes, thank you. I'm grateful to be here on this anniversary of some at least 3 great occurrences on the same date.
Yes.
5th of May, many years ago and less years ago.
Okay.
Now, Ethiopia had come to the attention of the whole world when 6 years before the 5th of May, when Haile Selassie left Ethiopia, 6 years before, Ethiopia had come to the attention of the whole world because Haile Selassie had modernized the name of Ethiopia from Abyssinia, a long time name in use, modernized it to Ethiopia and brought Ethiopia into the world international body, and also crowned at the same time when they modernized the name Ethiopia, 1930. But 5 years later, 1935, the whole world became aware that it was not all of Africa that had been carved up by the white people in 1884. The whole world got the news that the nations of Europe had a 1 year or a year-to-year conference from 1884 to 1885 to carve up the whole of Africa and capture the whole of Africa by different European nations taking a different part of Africa till they take with the whole of Africa. Well, the whole world thought that all of Africa had been carved up because they never hear the news that Tafari, father and him cousin, did resist and run out the Italian in 1896. So it's the first now in 1935 when them hear of the Italian coming to try grab Ethiopia again 40 years later. The whole world realized that war part they leave out that never grab, and it now named Ethiopia. Anyway, the Ethiopian-Italian war, once the people in Jamaica, the Africans in Jamaica found out that Italy trying to grab the newly crowned king of kings of Ethiopia and trying to grab Ethiopia, it had a great effect on the people in Jamaica, because the people in Jamaica at that time was very downhearted that they was under the rule of the King of England, and now them realize that the king in Ethiopia, when them hear about 1930 through the coronation, them find out say is there leading a fight against Italy, and it caused a great feeling of organization amongst the people of Jamaica. The people of Jamaica, the Africans in Jamaica, start to organize to link with that king and proclaim, say, we don't have no more king of England again. So the war caused that new feeling of organization. And what is organization? Organization is when a body start to run and depend on its own organ instead of depend on life support. or it's under the rule of others. Organization is when a body of people or a plant, which is a body, or an animal, start to depend upon its own organs and start to depend upon the different organs serving the whole that body, and therefore it regain health, become organized, start live out its own organ. So the people of Jamaica start to think about organization in a new way because Marcus Garvey did seemingly now fail. Same 1935, Marcus Garvey leave Jamaica, said that him fail in organizing the people of Jamaica. And him going to leave Jamaica and never return. Same time, the news of the war against Ethiopia, and Ethiopia resisting that war in 1935, Italy. The people of Jamaica start thinking a new organizing way. Let us link with Ethiopia and let us link with the king. Well, now, the League of Nations is a world body like the United Nations that did form after the First World War. And all countries were supposed to join in that world organization, organize same in that world organization, that none of them get any injustice so the rest of the members come to them rescue. But as usual in organizations, along the way you have betrayal. So Britain and France, who
Yes.
did pledge, Britain and France did promise, the same people that try take Burkina Faso. Britain
Yeah.
and France did promise to defend Ethiopia that no one tried to invade them again. But in the meantime, between 1922 when the League of Nations formed and 1935, Britain and France arranged to sell out Ethiopia and to disguise and escort Italy back into Ethiopia.
The infamous Hor-Laval Pact.
Yes, and you know why them do that?
Yes.
Britain did get to get Palestine, Jerusalem. Britain did get to get Jerusalem under them control after the First World War by being awarded. You know, when countries win a war, especially big country win a war,
yes,
those countries that fighting together come together and have a conference, a peace conference to decide which part of the losing nation them go and grab.
yes.
So when Britain and them allies, America and France, win the war, the First World War, them come together and decide to take away different things from Germany and them ally.
Yes.
So them take away Germany, East Africa, and them give England, that are Tanzania.
Yes.
Take away German, East Africa, the part of East Africa where Germany did grab. Them take it, the conference, the peace conference them have. Them give it to England, say now call it Tanzania or Tanganyika.
Yes.
And them also take away from Turkey, which is Germany friend. Them take away Jerusalem and Palestine and the England.
Not just Turkey, but that was the Ottoman Empire. That was the fall of the Ottoman Empire.
That is the European Muslim them.
Yes.
Enough people never know say you have European Muslim nation, that is Turkey. Plenty believe that yes, plenty people.
Sorry, go ahead.
Plenty people believe that Turkey are Asia and say Turkey a Christian country. But Turkey by that time is a part of Europe beside Greece. And them is also Muslim. And is them capture Jerusalem and have Jerusalem for hundreds of years. So now Britain because Britain and America beat Germany and Turkey. Them take from Germany Tanganyika, and Britain get Tanganyika, it become Tanzania, and them take from Turkey now Jerusalem, and Britain get Jerusalem and decide to set up a set of false Jews. Them decide to impersonate Jews so that them can have that country forever, because mandate only usually lasts 20 to 50 years. Them know say if them get a mandate over it, them going to lose it, so them going to set up them own people in there and be a permanent possessor of Jerusalem and Palestine. So same way now them is planning now, say when them help Italy to capture Ethiopia, little more them going to betray Italy too, because them betray Ethiopia and sell out Ethiopia to Italy. But little more to get Ethiopia. Britain is planning now to turn against Italy, fight them in a war, and when the war done, I don't know if you're still hearing me.
I'm hearing you perfect. Perfect. You sound perfect. Don't touch a thing. All right. We have the master historian, Jerry Small, with us tonight, family. We are going into the African victory. We are just setting the stage to go into what took place, what was behind the war, why it's important for us to celebrate this day, to always remember this day. What does this day mean to Rastafari around the world? You know, the history, as only a historian like Jerry Small can go into. So we're having a little bit of technical trouble here, which can happen. You know, we treading over land and sea. We're going to work on and get that forward for the eye. But in the meantime, we do give thanks. I want to just add to the landscape. I want to set the context here for the reasoning of I and I. 1936 is when the war kicks off. But as the elder was saying, this is leading up. We have to go forward to the Battle of Ottawa, 1896, March 1st. A massive blow is dealt. We later find out that from this defeat, because Italy had been promised Ethiopia, Somaliland, Libya, other territories at the Berlin Conference in 1884, 85. And so they were just effectuating their claim. They had already managed to buy Asmara and what is now known as Eritrea from the Ottoman Empire, took over. You know, all of this was the backdoor dealing. So they had a foothold in Ethiopian territory at that time. You know, Eritrea was part of the Ottoman. It was a protectorate. You know what I mean? Hold on here. Greetings.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes.
Are you answering me?
Perfectly, perfectly. Just adjust it a little bit. And I don't know, can you hold the phone like this? Can you put the phone like that and see if it will adjust?
It's not going to steer. The only way I can stabilize is this head.
Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem.
Right.
No, don't move it. Don't move it. Because we see you perfect. We hear you perfect. So yes, we were just talking about the leading up, you know, and I was saying that this was also retaliation from the loss at the Battle of Ottawa. And from that time, because they had been promised this territory at the Berlin Conference, and this was of particular interest to Italy because Italy had positioned itself as the head of Christendom around the world, and Ethiopia was a threat to that space because the Vatican claiming primacy on the throne of Peter. But when you read the Bible, everything leads back to the throne of David, and Ethiopia openly was asserting that claim. So it's a direct conflict in terms of the head of Christendom, and therefore it was in the target, because in this time we have Pope Pius the 11th, who was the same Pope who made Vatican an independent nation. We have to look at the chessboard, but I want you to pick up and just set the scene for us, Bongo Jerry, in terms of this war, because this is if we lose this war, black people all over the world had been conquered. We have to mention that all of the major kingdoms had been subdued, and this was the last sovereign space on the planet Earth of melanated people. Take it from there, Bongo Jerry.
Yeah, so this last space now, as I said, 5 years after the whole world learned that Ethiopia is still free and them newly crowned king is very advanced. 5 years later, Italy make a last desperate move. And within a few months, them start the trouble December 1934. Then step it up 1935 and actually declare war. And by 1936 May, the Ethiopian arms could fight no longer. They were old-time arms and very few and one or two planes. Couldn't fight no longer. So the advisory council of the crown of Ethiopia, the crown council, get together with the king of kings and decide it is better for him to go outside of Ethiopia and gather help, seeing that so many people around the world are in favor of Ethiopia and him. He must go out and gather. So he left, he and a large group of supporters and workers and cabinet and family leave Ethiopia to go in exile and to organize while in exile. Because you know that when you lose your last foothold inside of your yard, you have to go outside the yard and gather support and return.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
he went, the place where he chose to go was Jerusalem and Palestine. As I tell you now, England did have that place in them custody from 14 years before 1922. England get Jerusalem in them custody. When Haile Selassie reached Jerusalem in May 1936, the whole of the original Jew them in Jerusalem, when them here in Palestine, when them here that him is there, start to gather around him, and the English get very afraid that the people in Palestine and Jerusalem going to overwhelm the British and claim Haile Selassie as them king. And then beg him to leave and go to England. They were trying to get him away from the scene of Jerusalem. Then begging to go and spend him exile in England, saying that it would be easy
Stick a
for him to travel.
stick a pin, because this is the king from King David line 225th in the line of King Solomon. So him coming to Jerusalem at this time of global upheaval, as he said, the Yemeni Jews who are darker than even I, you know what I mean, and all complexion, but these are the ones who are rallying around, and others are rallying around, because it's also Muslims were also starting to rally around him as well, you know, because of course the place that Ethiopian king is in the Quran in terms of providing a refuge for the followers of the Prophet Muhammad in their time of need. So him being in Jerusalem at this culturally sensitive time was creating a lot of upheaval, and he writes about it in the autobiography. For those who are interested, as the reading Ras, you know, say I don't want the item to miss out on some of the fun of this story. The autobiography, Frontline Books, you can order it. Everything that we're talking about tonight, you can hear from His Majesty perspective, because one of the things that happened during this exile, and we'll get there, is he takes the time to document his narrative. So even what we're doing now, the Lions telling our own story, this comes from Haile Selassie tradition. The importance of documenting our own story. You didn't wait for biographers to say what he was going through at this time. He gave his own account, relayed the details that he felt were important, and move forward from there. Congo Jerry, pick it up there from Jerusalem.
The place where them call Sheba in the Bible.
Yes.
The place where them call Sheba in the Bible is two sides of the Red Sea. Two sides of the Red Sea is Sheba.
Yes, I.
One side named, hold on. One side of the Red Sea named Ethiopia. the other side of the Red Sea named Yemen. So the Yemeni people is part of Sheba or Saba. Anyway,
Haile.
the King of England dead January 1936. So when Haile Selassie left Palestine late in May 1936, when the British begged him to leave, they go to England. And when him reached England in June, early June 1936, the King of England dead 5 months. And there's no king on the throne of England. And for the whole of 1936, when Haile Selassie settled in London, there is no king in England. And the man who's supposed to become king, the son of the dead King of England, say him not take no crown. Not take no crown without a man wife where him take away. And the law of England and the law of the English church say him not to take no man wife and him not to take no divorcee. And him say him not take no crown, and for the whole of 1936 there is no king in England. January the King of England dead. And December the son finally after 1 year declares him not take the throne and him leave England. Well, a man was encouraging him, a high man in the government was encouraging him to take the crown by adjusting certain things, either leg of the woman or don't make them call her queen. And he was suggesting all kind of things. I want this man to turn King of England. And that prince there decided to say him not compromise him, want the divorcee wife of the man where him take away, the man wife him take away. And the man will support him to take the throne of England because him knows say that man is a Nazi. That prince who have to come on the throne is a Nazi, a fascist. And if him want that man to succeed him, father, that man was Churchill. Was a young man but very powerful, and one of the most powerful man in the English government. Finally, that young prince said, him a left England and him not take the crown. That time Haile Selassie they want for the whole in the half of the 36, and from January to December, no king in England, no crown in England. Well, Haile Selassie continue in England, organizing and reaching out to the rest of the African people in the world to help him. Because him know him can't rely upon England. He can't trust England to really help him. And him know say England put him up somewhere to live, but him know them have a trick up them sleeve. And him know say Churchill tricky. So him organize him form organization for himself. A world organization where to help him. And in next year, 1937, that world organization officially announced and them started outside of England in America. I don't know if him started in England, the English going to sabotage it more. Him send him cousin who did study in America to America, where a large amount of African was organized by Marcus Garvey before, where him same and Haile Selassie used to send help to that organization, but that organization gone down now, and also Marcus Garvey make mistake and start fight Haile Selassie now. They have to set up another world organization to gather the support of the African around the world, named Ethiopian World Federation. So now, after that, Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie in England same way. And Haile Selassie spent 1937, 1938, one next younger son of the king, the old dead king of England, go upon the throne. Haile Selassie spent 1938 there. And the warning where him give them in a League of Nations say, if you abandon Ethiopia and make Italy grab Ethiopia, it will start a world war. What about the world war when it start back? Because the First World War and the Second World War is one world war. The First World War is just part one of the World War, and the Second World War was part two. So you had a 20-year ceasefire. 1918, 21 year. 1918 ceasefire. when them say World War I done, it never done. It was a ceasefire last 21 year and 1939. The same people who fight 1918 broke out back amongst themselves, and the World War start back in 1939. Now by 1940, Germany almost beat England. Germany fly over England and bomb up London every night.
Yes.
And
yes.
almost ready to invade England. And England is almost ready to surrender. And Marcus Garvey is there very downhearted because I'm in England 5 years now. And him here say Germany are going to invade England. And him will get caught up in that. Him get very downhearted and sick. And then some people start send out rumor around the world say Marcus Garvey dead at London.
Yes.
Well, I have a newspaper from the 31st of May. The 10th of May, when England look like Germany are going to invade them overnight. The king run with the Prime Minister of England and call the next man to turn Prime Minister. Guess who him call? When the same young guy, when him Churchill, him call him and tell him on the 10th of May, take the government of England and see if you can rescue England. See if you can organize up or arrange up. See if you can get some help or rescue England. Well, when Churchill swear in the 10th of May, one of the first thing him do, him contact Haile Selassie and say, we're going to ask if you come help we turn around this war because the Italian are going to come into the war. The Italian was not in the war. They was in the war with Germany. They was friend of Germany, but they never go into the war. But them ready for coming into the war now. And the Churchill has said to Haile Selassie, we are going to ask if we go back in Ethiopia and help with defeat the Italian them because I'm coming into the war.
I want stick up in, because I want to ask the eye, why you think the Italians joined with Germany? You know, what was it in the Italian interest to join with Germany over the Allied forces?
Germany take up fascism, follow Italy. Is Italy start fascism? And Mussolini, the King of Italy and the Pope of Vatican, is the three leader of fascism. Is Italy start fascism?
Yes.
And the fascist is a Roman symbol. The fascist is a whole heap of stick tie up together that say all of we different European and Italian that scatter. If we tie up ourselves together, we will be the strongest. That's what fascism means. A set of stick tie up together and make a strong column or a strong staff.
So
Mussolini, hold on. Mussolini take Italy, control Italy government 1922.
All right.
That 11 years before Hitler take Germany. Hitler follow Mussolini and organize fascism and get back German people strong. And so Italy was the leader of Germany, but most people never know that Mussolini despised Hitler personally. So I'm not associated with them too close. But them are allies still, but him not fight with them and him not follow Germany because him despise Hitler personally as a barbarian, not polished and refined like the Italian who said that them is the head of refinement and civilization, Roman civilization.
Yes.
So it's only when in 1940 when Germany invade France, overrun France, where Italy did do and France themselves. And before Germany reached too far and get too much things, Mussolini swallow him pride and go join with Germany and enter the war on the 10th of June. And Marcus Garvey get the news the morning say Mussolini join Hitler and enter the war, and Marcus Garvey dead before about midday. So now, same time, Churchill now contact Haile Selassie in London and say, we are asking you to help us by lead an army, an international army, go down into Africa, because most of Italy colonies and possession with them thief was in Africa. So they are asking Haile Selassie to go down in Africa, starting in Egypt and Mauritania and them places, and lead the fight against fascism, and little by little, England will get out of the problem with the pandemic, but them soon get invaded by Germany and Italy. Well, them only use Haile Selassie as a figurehead, because them a plan to take away Ethiopia from him. As soon as them done and conquer Mussolini, England a plan to take away Ethiopia from Haile Selassie. Churchill planned that, and Haile Selassie was aware of him plan. And Haile Selassie fly out of England 2 weeks after Marcus Garvey died, on the 24th of June, and go to North Africa. And them keep him there nearly 1 year, because them don't want him reaching there by himself, you know. England keep him in North Africa nearly 1 year, till April. That means from June 1940 till April 1941, them have him in North Africa between Khartoum and Sudan and Egypt and them places. Don't want him getting too near in Ethiopia. When them reach up near in Ethiopia now, them send for him and fly him coming in Ethiopia and land him in the land of Ethiopia. When the people in Ethiopia and even the people in Sudan hear that Haile Selassie land back on the continent, the one of them start get brave again and say, yes, Haile Selassie have come with help and modern arms and plane, which him really was coming with. But the English only send those with him. As soon as them get through with him at the head of the column, them will try to take away Ethiopia from him. Well, Haile Selassie aware of that, but him a play chess with them like how them a play chess with him. Well, Haile Selassie now after him reaching Ethiopia, them time it that him reach back in Addis, him reach Ethiopia from in April. Or them take time march, go right up till him reach up in Addis Ababa. And them time him that him for reaching Addis Ababa, the 5th of May, exactly 5 years after when him leave out of Addis Ababa, the 5th of May 1936. So when him reaching Addis Ababa, the 5th of May, and I set up back him government, England has set up government, a shadow government, same time I try to take control of Ethiopia. Haile Selassie watch them. Well, Haile Selassie contact the United States, was the next great power where I help him with arms and money and equipment and plane. And Haile Selassie warned Churchill, say England a try to take over Ethiopia, and him appeal to Churchill. Warn Roosevelt, the President of America, say England and Churchill a try to take over him country, and him a depend on America to prevent England from taking away him country. And Roosevelt keep quiet and have a agreement with Haile Selassie. Say, I'm not going to talk, but I'm going to watch England. Well, now, them have a series of conference now. It reached down in 1945. Okay. Ethiopia is the first place free. Ethiopia is the first country free in a World War II. Ethiopia free 4 years before the rest of the world. So from 1941 to 1945, Ethiopia free, and the rest of the world in a war. And 1945 now, the end of 1945, when it is clear that both Italy and by that time, by 1943, you know, the King of England, when him see the problem with Mussolini carry me now, the King of England ordered Mussolini to be arrested. And Mussolini was arrested and take off of the government of Italy and in a jail from 1943. Well, them have him in there nearly 2 years up to 1945. At the end of 1944, when England and America say Germany and Italy go crash in a few months, that means them win the war. Them start keep some conference now to decide one way they must share up after the war. Now that time Russia did come into the war with them and help them to win the war. But Russia them enemy, no. Russia are communist. But them still join up with Russia. England and America, the two capitalist countries, still join up with Russia so that Russia could have take most of the licking of the war and fight off Germany. But when the war got done now, England and America are planned as the war done, them are turn them arms against Russia. So them keep a conference secretly without Russia in a place near Malta, one little island in the Mediterranean named Malta. Them keep a conference in the January, planning how them are going to declare war for Russia as the war done, and then going to form a next new world organization. Well, after them keep the conference at Malta, America, England, Roosevelt and Churchill, them send go tell Stalin, the head of Russia, that them want a conference with him now. How to plan out how them all share up things after the war. That time them done have a plan for Stalin and Russia already say them all share up Russia. But them a con Russia now tell Russia to come meet with me. So we're going to share up the rest of the world. But Stalin say him now go outside of Russia go keep no conference. I'm not trust nobody. The conference have to keep in Russia. So when them tell him to tell them the place which part the conference to keep in Russia, him say to go keep a Yalta. So them a move from Malta to Yalta, Malta in the Mediterranean. Them a move to Yalta now in Russia, go meet with Stalin, go con Stalin. And that conference must keep from the 4th of February 1945 to the 11th of February. So when Churchill and Roosevelt left Malta and go in Yalta on the 4th of February, Haile Selassie contact Roosevelt same time. At them time contact Roosevelt and say, England a try con me. And Roosevelt tell him say, come to Egypt. When we done in Russia, me meet in Egypt and we talk about it. So Haile Selassie reach Egypt the 11th of February, the same day the conference I done in Russia. Him reach Egypt and wait for Churchill, and Churchill leave Russia now, go to Egypt, go meet with Haile Selassie. Him send a plane for Haile Selassie to Ethiopia. Him send an American plane from Egypt to Ethiopia. And Haile Selassie to Ethiopia, and the British ambassador spy on him and watch him because the British ambassador suspect that Haile Selassie find out what them up to and him and watch him. Well, Haile Selassie take off on the plane before day one morning when the Englishman lives nice side of the airport at Addis Ababa. And I watch Haile Selassie movement. Haile Selassie take off before day one morning and the plane wake up the English ambassador, realize the case when they couldn't check Haile Selassie fly out when him asleep, fly gone to Egypt. And him send gone tell Churchill, say, you know, Sister Selassie, Ghana, Egypt, go meet with Roosevelt, because them a set a plan to get out of Ethiopia. Churchill to left out of Russia now, fly go down in Egypt. I try broke in upon the conversation with Selassie and Roosevelt. Roosevelt and Selassie block him and not make him come in there. And when after His Majesty meet with Churchill, with Roosevelt 2 days, on the 16th of February, just happened to be my birthday. Bob Marley did born a few days before, you know. Okay. It's 1945, this is the 4th of February, I talk about, you know. And Bob Marley born 2 days later.
All right.
This is just by the way. But 2 days later, after I meet with Roosevelt, 2 days, the 3rd day, you know, 16th of February, I never born until 3 years time. Churchill fly in Egypt. I try contact Haile Selassie. I try look friend of him, because him find out Haile Selassie. Find out the whole plan and reveal it to Roosevelt. Well, Haile Selassie send back to the messenger, say, I do not need to meet with Churchill. And Churchill force Haile Selassie meet with them, and when he meet with him, him tell him, say, I have nothing to talk about with you. And when Roosevelt left in a warship from Egypt, We go back to America. He make them drive 4 Jeep. Haile Selassie bring some present for Roosevelt, you know. Some solid gold present with some symbol on it for sure. Them appreciate America. And them say Roosevelt price those present Haile Selassie give more than any present when them get when he was president. He might go dead 2 months time, you know, but nobody the world never know.
Yes, yes.
When him a leave in the warship, he make him drive 4 Jeep off of the warship and send go get Haile Selassie as a present. No, as a present, because I know say Haile Selassie need some war equipment. But him send bigger present them, but him send them 4 personally to Haile Selassie. Like them the Jeep are going to be him outrider, I know where I go. When Churchill here, you don't know what Churchill do. Churchill in Egypt where England control and have all the position. Churchill take out one Rolls Royce out of the English government garage and give Haile Selassie, a friend of Haile Selassie. And you know where Roosevelt do before he ship take off of the mirror, say Churchill account and present with Rolls Royce. Churchill drive off him personal Cadillac off of the ship in Egypt harbor. And give Haile Selassie and say, you drive that. But I want to show him a show say, Haile Selassie now got to depend upon you again, you can find out say he's an undermine. So now, the 28th of April, Mussolini was arrested. I was arrested from 1943, you know. 28th of April, 26th of April, the government of Italy, the order say, we don't want Mussolini live not 2 days longer, you know. Because Italy go surrender. Italy go surrender and them now want Mussolini live. We got to come take over back Italy. Them are them to be executed. And them execute them on the 28th day of April, before the war done. And it is said that is Churchill encouraged them to execute him because he have some papers upon him, some document where him and Churchill was negotiating from 1943 to betray the government of betray the king of Italy and to go against the Russian them and the United States. Imagine Churchill arranged all that with Mussolini. So when the king of Italy heard that him execute Mussolini, which was the real leader of the fascists, and when Hitler stayed at Germany a year, say Mussolini executed on the 28th of April. 2 days later, Hitler killed himself, 30th of April. And 7 days later, Germany surrender and the World War II come to an end, mostly around the world, 7th of May. But Japan keep on fighting, and the American them now, after Japan surrender from July, Japan surrender from July to America, you know. But America not tell the world, because America have a weapon where them want to use. And them say if Japan surrender, they can't use a weapon. So them going to use a weapon, both to test the nuclear weapon we have there, and them also going to show Russia where it's supposed to be an ally. If you fool around after the war, when we start fight against you in a Cold War, if you fool around, this is what we're going to use for Japan. And on the same date when Jamaica get independent, 18 years later, 18 years or 17 years later, 6th of August, America drop on the atomic bomb from Japan.
Wow.
And that time Japan done surrender, never need to drop no bomb. You know. And 2 days later, then drop on next atomic bomb on Nagasaki after them bomb. Was it Tokyo?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, yeah. So that is it. So now Hitler was leading Germany to a peace agreement. Hitler was leading Germany to a peace agreement. You know, both Italy and Germany, they decided to come to peace with England and America, you know.
Okay.
Our fight against Russia. And they said go a pure cross, a pure betrayal and counter move, and pure trickery. Every one of them is against one another. Down to England and America. Russia, every one of them change side. And we the people in the world, we the Asiatic and the African people in the world, get to find out underneath the real nature of Europe, where it's to divide our rule, and them even divide our rule against them closest ally. Even
Yes.
again closest ally, can you imagine? So that is how the true nature of Italy and Russia come out.
Well, we're seeing
So
it
anyway,
today. We're seeing it today, history repeating. So this is so important for the eye to say this now because we're seeing the global the war, this war is returning. The third world war has already started and it's against Russia and against the global south to a lesser extent. So
yeah,
the
Russia, China, and all of the people them south of the equator.
Iran too, are the three major targets right now. So we're watching the unfolding, and it's important for the family to know this history so we can connect the dots. Because Haile Selassie was trying to save man from going down this path that they're currently going down. He was trying to turn the ship so that we could have an age of prosperity, collective security, all of these things, but they chose to go another route, which was war. And since the Second World War, the wars have not stopped. The wars of aggression have not stopped in violation, I would add, of the United Nations Charter.
Yes, it was that is why when Haile Selassie visit the United Nations 1963, that is why I make that speech to show
Yes.
them, say, the first thing he said to them when him go up on the stand, 1963, him say, I am the only head of state in the world who has addressed both the League of Nations before it mash up 1939, and now I am addressing the United Nations, but the United Nations will come to the same end as the League of Nations as long as you continue have one race that's superior to another, and that you as long as you have first and second class citizenship. And him want them, and him know that what is first class citizenship? What is first class citizenship?
Meaning you get all of the rights and privileges accorded, to the elites of that nation.
Yeah, in other words, first class citizenship is the class of people that get all the privileges.
Yes.
First class citizen don't look right. Them look privileged. But ordinary well-thinking people don't look privileged. Them look for rights which they must born with. So first class citizen of every nation is the ruling class, and Haile Selassie know that in Ethiopia, his family is the ruling class, and him know that the rest of the people is second class citizen.
Yes.
And Haile Selassie know, what's that?
No, continue.
Haile Selassie know that kingship did not always exist and royalty did not always exist in humanity. It's the Hebrew them bring in royalty after them was in Egypt for 400 years, and them copy royalty from Egypt and from the Philistines around them. And the council of 12 judges want them say you don't need no royalty. You have a council of judges that judge between any offense between and God is no king. And the people of Israel insist that them want king.
Yeah.
And Samuel warned them, say, when see a king do you. And when them get king, the king start to handle them the terriblest way, that afterward, the same king couldn't even handle the enemies and protect them from them enemy. And his little boy David have to come protect them from them enemy, a little shepherd boy, teenager youth. And later on, he was made king, the second king of Israel. And even when he become king, he was being reminded by the Almighty that the Almighty is king, and this is a temporary arrangement in the affairs of human. And that is why Haile Selassie from him was a little boy, him father coach him say, you going to be the last king of kings in Ethiopia, and is you have to clear up certain things. First, you have to abolish slavery. You have to take away back the land from the church. and the nobility and the royal family and give to the people. And you have to do many other things because you're the last king going to be here. And now a lot of Rastafari is spending them time trying to set up back Zara, Jacob, and Ermias on the throne of Ethiopia. Meanwhile, it's just privileged Ermias and the rest of his family a look because they are being used by the United States for more than 50 years now. They are being used by the United States, and it's the United States that is fomenting the civil war in Ethiopia, and it's the United States and Israel that join up with them biggest enemy, Egypt and Sudan, and become allies now, and is trying to destroy the dam where Ethiopia built, and has successfully started a civil war between the people of Tigray and the rest of people of Ethiopia, and Eritrea and all of them places, the United States and Israel behind that, and it's the United States and Israel was behind the Derg. And all of them is Kissinger and Nixon decide to pull the rug from underneath His Majesty and to close down all military base and all foreign aid to His Imperial Majesty. His Majesty knows that all of them things was going to go on.
Serious
But our brethren now, the Rastafari movement is a liberation movement. But a lot of our brethren and sisters turn the Rastafari movement, not the whole movement, but turn a lot of the energy into a religion. And because of that, them not learning the true lesson Haile Selassie come teach them, that until there is no longer any first and second class citizenship, there's going to be war. First and second class citizenship must be dismantled. But plenty of we not ready for that. Plenty of we not ready for that.
No, it's serious. It's serious. And this is why this day is so important. I tell people all the time, Haile Selassie raised the Ethiopian from a peasant with no rights to the land at the service of the powerful races to citizens with their own constitution, a Bill of Rights, all of these things. He's the first world leader to take power from himself and give to the people. And he said that time has come where the emperor governing by himself by decree, this time has passed. It's time that the people share in the responsibility of government, which is why after a certain time he revised the constitution. In the first constitution, the people could not vote for their representatives. They were appointed because he didn't have the power at that time to take from the races and the independent kingdoms. So he had to go very easily. He made those races part of the upper house or the Senate. So those races, all of the separate kingdoms were still able to retain their power. But remember, at this time, each kingdom has its own private army. These armies are not loyal to the central government. They're loyal to their head. So you have to take time and modernize the military, start to train the younger youths, centralize so that over time he could now consolidate power in the central government. A lot of people don't see this part of ruling, and they, we use a lot of fantasy and mythology and not understand how perilous and how miraculous what His Majesty accomplished in Ethiopia was, because he did not do it without opposition. The church was against him for bringing in modern vehicles, aircraft, cars, public school system, the Tafari McCunnin School for Boys. This was a taboo because all of the education was done through the church. So him bringing in secular organization, he tried to bring in African Americans at first. That was stymied by the U.S. State Department, so he had to get the Jesuits from Canada, Jesuit priests, to come in at first to open the gates, because remember that bringing people in is controlled by the colonial powers. You know what I mean? So you have to leverage Vatican, have certain authority to make certain things come in, but he made sure they couldn't proselytize. You have to bring in from India, to teach the army, Belgium, some of the smaller powers, because you don't want to give America the power to train your army. So you give it to a smaller a power. So it is a balancing act that His Majesty had to undertake. And the second volume of my life, and if you want to hear how he outsmarted the British, he writes it in detail. The British had minders that were following him literally around the place, and he used to have to duck them in Addis Ababa, send out decoys, all kind of thing. He talks about it in his book, in his
Yeah,
autobiography.
that's why I'm fly out the morning
Yes,
before the British ambassador jump up and hear the plane. Because many move like that Haile Selassie do. Many.
mystical,
Yes,
mystical.
sir.
So
And Marcus Garvey never understand these things. That's why he misinterpreted when him never get no reply from Haile Selassie in London. But Haile Selassie realized that Marcus Garvey mean the best, but him not up, him not really reach that level. But him did many great things, and Haile Selassie not try to talk like say him greater than Marcus, you know. Because Haile Selassie, like any wise human being, know that we are all equal, even though we are not all equally informed and intelligent.
it's true.
We're all
And
equal.
we're all equal. And His Majesty, as you so eloquently said in our visit to the Caribbean panel, if you haven't seen that, go and watch it. As he said, His Majesty demanded upon his visit to Jamaica to visit the burial
The
site.
shrine.
Yeah, the
Yes,
shrine
the
of
shrine.
Marcus Garvey, to pay his
To
respect.
pay his. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this shows you the kingly character that I and I must exemplify as Rastafari. No grudges, petty difference, kick that way. We are one people. And remember that His Majesty supported the UNIA. You know, when you talk about the Ford family coming to the first co-ed school was established by Bayesian UNIA members, the Ford family, the UNIA anthem, Ethiopia, land of our fathers, was written by a UNIA member that had relocated to Ethiopia on the invitation of His Majesty to the UNIA.
Yes, from Barbados.
Yes, from Barbados. So, you know, a Hebrew Israelite brethren. And I met his son, Abby Ford, used to teach at Howard University. He gave us the history of his family, and his mother established the first co-ed school in Ethiopia. And his mother died during the war, and she made her husband promise that he would not leave Ethiopia because many people left. The first wave of people who came, they left before the Italian invasion. We don't talk about that history. That His Majesty was building Ethiopia as an African paradise, you know, and this is one of the reasons why Rome invaded.
A refuge.
The beast shall make war with the lamb. Why? Because he was calling to, you know, he was offering competitive wages, 3 months of vacation to African Americans. He talked to the Chicago Defender. These things are documented. The history is just now starting to come out of his outreach to black people around the world.
By the way, the part 2 of your book is a part 2 of the one that you gave me.
Yes.
I never know that it published. How long now you publish it?
It came out when 2021.
The first one came out when?
That is only one part me have right now.
Oh, that one where you show a while ago is the first part?
No. This is the autobiography of His Majesty.
Oh, okay.
From Frontline Books. So make sure you support Frontline Books. But it's very important that we put things into context, Bongo Jerry, because a lot of people, you know, because of lack of understanding of His Majesty and the power, I think they lose confidence. And a lot of Rastafari now lean to their own overstanding, and they bring their own doctrine instead of us being obedient. Because the mission is still there to be fulfilled. His Majesty said the blueprint for us to fulfill, but we've been disobedient. You know, as you say.
So why not research what he has written himself? Why, as a young teenager,
yes,
after a while I became resentful of the fact that most of the elders knew certain things and never shared to the rest of the congregation, and many of them didn't know and didn't half understand what His Majesty was doing. At the same time, they want to remain elders over the flock. They want privilege. They want to be first-class citizens in Rastafari. I used to resent that. But His Majesty, especially with how him deal with Marcus Garvey, has taught me, just in recent years and decades, to relinquish certain resentment that I did feel when I see certain action, and to restore relationship with several people where me and them in a hard words years ago, 50, 40, 30, 20 years ago. And that time me and them can have decent relationship now without no hypocrisy, not no pretending, a real decent relationship where we and them go to war, man, all threaten life and man have a counter back, you know, and them way there. And we resume good relationship just because of the way how we see His Majesty not only do the same thing, but also never did fall prey to the resentment in the first place. When him young, him did for some moments harbor some of them kind of resentment, you know. But he was always mature beyond them years and learn these lessons quite young. Some lessons that people usually learn in their middle age and them old age. I learned it from him in them teens and 20s. And through that, he was always ahead of the developing of bad habits and what Jamaican, a beautiful expression Jamaican create called bad mind. Because if you have good mind,
yes,
because you know that all human beings who speak English use this expression. When them considering whether to do something rash or something good, sometimes them say, I have a good mind. Don't pick you up tomorrow morning.
Yes.
But is it, I have a good mind? I'm not going to reply to that thing. That is a good mind. And sometimes a bad man will tell them, I have a good mind, don't pick you up tomorrow morning. And then a good man said to me, pick up the man because you make mistake too. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful.
Yeah, we have to emphasize that part. And what I want to talk about is how His Majesty carried himself at the lowest point of his life. We have a lot of brethren going through depression. We have a lot of brethren where life beat them down. We witnessed His Majesty at his lowest point, and he was able to stay productive, have faith. You know, he didn't sit and mope around and feel sorry for himself. He said, what other time can I have to document my story? He translated the Bible from Ge'ez to Arik. You know, he was also leading correspondences. He had spies going into Ethiopia, carrying supplies, coordinating intelligence with the guerrilla fighters, you know, in Ethiopia, making arms shipments and certain things reach them. So talk about what we can learn from the dignity of a man at his lowest point from Kadamari Haile Selassie I. Very important.
Well, I want to tell you, say, all right, when I was a teenager, I write some things. And it's only because I've been acquainted with a lot of people I've experienced more than myself, but especially Haile Selassie. I learned some things and I write a few pieces of verse when I was a teenager. And I want to show you them one at a time to show you how we can help lift one another when we are at the lowest feeling. And I want to show you another piece of verse where an aunt of mine would die when she was 98-year-old. When she was 18-year-old, I go to St. Hughes School in 1938. Write a poem about Haile Selassie. I never know, said this woman, when she was a teenager, did so militant, you know. My father, youngest sister. And when I buy her up, is when I buy her apartment from her 2008. She leave a whole heap of documents, thousands of documents and book in it. And I find 2 St. Hughes annual magazine, school magazine. And she was the editor. And when me look through the second one, I read that she's the editor and I read a section from poetry. And when me go read one of the poem, I think the poem, because I know her father's a Gaviite, you know, my auntie father, my grandfather. So when I read it and when she's telling about this, it named grief stricken. Somebody struck down by grief, downhearted, depressed. And when I read about this man sitting in a lonely room in London, and it's 1938, she right now. And when I read the verse, first verse, second verse, I says most Marcus Garvey she right about because Garvey was in London and she is a Garveyite daughter. And it's when I read the third verse I realized that a Haile Selassie, she a right bout, and I never know that she did have them expression there, and none of the family, and they must know, you know. Because if your daughter and your sister is the editor of a school magazine, you're going to be so proud you're going to read that school magazine, and you're going to go book up on that poem, and then going to be, some of them going to be embarrassed because they must staunch Garvey, right? And here it is Garvey licking out against his majesty in London in 1938, and here she writes in a poem. One day I want to show you. I want to show the eye.
I want to see it, man. Because I know my family them same way. I have to learn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know?
I mean, I tell you. So now, just as you say, in the depths of depression, because depression is the most common illness that human beings share. Enough people know. People believe there's only a few people get depressed or bipolar. Most human beings in the world at some time pass through severe depression and give up hope. And Haile Selassie himself expressed that, you know. But him say, when him go through that, is him faith and the scriptures lift him up back. You understand me? And when you read what him say, you realize, look on the man, Jesus. 2 times, you know. The night before him give up himself, and him know them go execute him, you know. And him give up himself voluntarily. And the night before, him decide to go as usual one side, go meditate. Because prayer just means say you meditate and you talk with the God inside you. That's what prayer means. You're talking with the God inside of you. And him draw a little distance and him tell 4 of them and them say, stay and watch, because when the soul of them come, I'm not going to fight them. But I want to be aware before them come. I'm going to give up myself, but just stay and watch and warn me if them come. 4 man. And him go one side, and after 1 hour him come. After him done meditate now. When him meditate, him see, and him start say, him a say to the Almighty inside of him say, if it is possible, remember him is flesh, you know. Yes. Him say, if it is possible, remove this cup and now me have to go through this. Can you imagine? The bravest man we ever hear about.
Yes,
in private, him say, if it is possible, remove this cup. Yet still, is not my will must be done. I only have said that. And little more, when him come, him say the man him asleep. Him say, what, I couldn't watch with me 1 hour, man. And him still forgive them. And then next day, after him give up himself, and 3 day time when him a crucify him, and when him hang up on the place, and pay, because you hang up by 2 nails through your hand, you know. And 2 nails through your foot, the whole of your weight depend on that, and you hang for 2-3 days, you know.
Yeah,
and
man.
when pain reach him, you remember the word of them report to himself on the cross?
Yes.
Say, my Father Almighty, why you forsake me? So if him can reach a point where him come to get the greatest message and encouragement, and when the pain reach him himself say, why him forsake me? Can you imagine? Same is human.
Yeah, man.
And that's why, as you point out, more than one time, the Ethiopian don't believe in the 2 different form of God. They believe same as both God in him and him outside of God. Him outside is him body and him inside of God.
Yes.
But them call monophysite, one body.
Yes. Fully human, fully divine. Fully human, fully divine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so him say, same as him. So it's same as we, if we relax ourselves and let go the inhumanity. Just relax yourself, you know. If you relax yourself, him say the same thing where him achieve and attain to. It is there for everyone. Yes. It's not a matter that him is no first class citizen and you not attain that, you know. I tell you that him come to give the message. It is there for everyone. Female no less.
That is the revolution.
Yes, female no less neither.
Yes, that's the revolution of the Christ consciousness, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And that is what they try to hide in the religions and these things.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, because they want you to pray to the priesthood, yes, and to give donation to the priesthood. That is it about. And remember, say when him coming up, him abolish priesthood, you know.
Yes, sir.
Him show you say the priesthood is a brotherhood and a sisterhood. The whole of you is all part of you. You know, I'm not believe. Yes.
His Majesty said on that same train car in Canada that is often cited, he said that.
Yes, sir. Bringing Christ to the nations. Yes.
Yes, he said the
Hoffman.
sacrifice of Jesus Christus. He said the heart of man became the temple of the Most High, and the
Yeah.
Almighty dwell within man. So it
Yes,
really
yes.
is showing us that the true concept of the Christ, like I
Yes.
remember, is the defender of the faith. The
Yes.
true concept is to know that the Almighty live within us. This is why the concept of
Yes.
the concept of I and I that Rastafari bring is so revolutionary, because it's not me
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
you. It's not me and
Yes.
you, it's I and I. We
Yes, yes.
acknowledge the divinity within each
Yes,
other.
yes.
One,
Yes, yes.
one, you know what I mean? But yet still
Yeah.
many. So this is
Because the I,
yeah, go
yes,
ahead.
the ego is the proud part and the part of human that is concerned with ratings, prestige, and respect. You know, self-esteem. Now, self-esteem can be healthy, but health, self-esteem is usually carried to extreme,
That is it.
where you don't feel good. You don't feel good unless you compare yourself with other and say, I am not only feeling well, I feel better than the guy beside me. Not only that, at my age, I don't only feel well, I feel better than most people my age. That's why most time I have to stop myself, and say nobody compare yourself with no more other people your age. A ego that I work for, what the hell that have to do with you? Whether you are in better condition or whether you can run 100 meters faster than the next man 77-year-old. That is ego, that is just a part of it. That are the weak part of it. The I is the strong. The I is the same as I said, the I is the same in all. And
Yes,
the ego is personal. The ego is personal.
the ego is, and that is what stops you from reaching that divinity. That is what the religion would call Satan, or you know what I
Yes,
mean,
yes, yes.
that
Yeah, man,
nature,
the
that
adversary.
chaos. Yeah, the chaos, you
Yes,
know
the
what I mean?
adversary. Yes,
The
adversary.
adversary,
Yes,
because the
yes,
Almighty deal with order, and that bring
yes,
chaos, which is confusion.
yes, yes,
Babylon or Babel, the
yes,
root
yes,
of Babylon mean to confuse. So
yes,
when
yes,
we are looking at these concepts, His Majesty come to set the world in order. And this is what they were rejecting, because they wanted to keep this war. War is chaos, so you can extract
yeah.
resources. His
Yes,
Majesty
yes,
was
yes,
preaching an end to all war. And this is when
yes,
you read the speech to the League of Nations, 1930, 6,
six. Yeah,
and then the other one in 38. There's another one. He's
yes,
bringing this to the world table, and this is the first time a head of state addresses an international body in the history of the world. And it just so
yeah,
happens that he's smiting them with a double-edged sword, which is the word of truth.
yeah,
And it just so happens he's doing it from the throne of David, which has been acknowledged when he's admitted to the League of Nations. They had to acknowledge his bloodline in
yeah.
the Council of Nations. These are legal precedents and things that this is why His Majesty is putting in his claim, because he's seeing, is there anyone contesting the claim that the throne of David is coming? It's by law. If you look in the Constitution, the Union of Solomon and Makeda is written by law. There's no other constitution in the world that makes this claim. We have to first say that Israel doesn't
And
have a
yet,
constitution. Yes.
others make the claim. Others make the claim, but they cannot do it in plain language.
No.
And most of their claims, they keep them secret. You know
Yeah.
what United King? You know which country name United Kingdom?
The UK, Scotland, and Ireland.
Yes, yes, yes. Now you know
Yes.
what United Kingdom stand for?
What's that?
United Kingdom stand for when the 10 tribe would draw away from Judah, join back up with Judah. Remember, say after David's son Solomon, right?
Yes, I.
David's son Solomon rule him do some great things, but him still do some things were never good. Then for him, same son Rehoboam come rule, and the people come to him and beg him, say, all right, ease up power now. We give voluntary labor for build the temple for the whole life. In other words, half of our working time was enforced labor in building the temple. The temple finished build now, ease way up now. Rehoboam did have a mind to ease them up, because him just come in and the temple build. But the
Yeah.
young men, his companions, that are nobles and that are royal princes, the young men, his companions said to him, say, we just come in with you to come enjoy. ascension over the rest of the people. Tell them, say what? My father chastised you with whip, but I'm going to chastise you with scorpion. My father hold a waist we measure 40 inches around, coming like my little finger with the way I go hang you rough. And when the Israel hear that response of the young man, them advise rub and say, them draw away from him and say, what have we, what have we to do with you, O house of Judah? And them draw away from him. That's how the 10 tribes draw away from. That's why you get Samaria, you know. Samaria is Israel, you know. Israel is Samaria, you know. And Judah is the one that must stay with. So Britain now, when Britain raise up and get the religion from Rome, 1,400 years later, claim that them is the Israel and them is the United Kingdom. And that's why the coat of arms of the United Kingdom, you know what they on it? A lion and a unicorn. Two of them. You know what unicorn stands for?
What does the unicorn stand for?
The unicorn stands for the house of Joseph, which was supposed to be the leader of the 10 tribe were pulled away from Judah.
Okay.
So the United Kingdom symbolized by the lion and the unicorn on the coat of arms, so them unite the kingdom back. Britain claims that them is the kingdom of Israel unite back. And that's why I say them back the false Israeli Zionists or capture Palestine and Jerusalem to impersonate, to have the full impersonation. And America break off England. So America is just part of the United Kingdom, claiming that them is a united house of Israel. And because them is a united house of Israel, if I can impersonate your name, I can claim any land title that is in your name, you know. So them impersonating the name of being Israel and Zion and lay claim on Jerusalem, Palestine, Gaza, and everything.
And this is very important because this is what's going to lead to this Armageddon war that they're planning with Iran. I've been telling people we have to prepare because if you don't know this history and these claims, as Bongo Jerry said, they keep it secret. So they disguise it with politics, but the elites of the world, even though you might burn the Bible and say, deal with the Bible, they have the Bible as a history and as the ancient scrolls, and they use it and they try to usurp it. And the Masonic lodges and all of these people come together to do with them what they're doing. And it's in the open because right now, if you look at the conflict in Israel right now, they're talking about the greater Israel. That's based on the Abrahamic covenant from the River Nile to the Tigris and the Euphrates. And so the land claims and these things that they're setting up. When you talk about the destruction of the temple of the Elas Mas that is being called for by the hardliners in Israel, this is going to create a global war between the house of Ishmael and the house of Israel. And this is what they are preparing for. All of the nations of the earth, this is why the price of gold is skyrocketing. Everybody is preparing for this war that is written. And the baby boomers want to see it before they leave this world, which is why now it's so dangerous. Because the youth, them is not on this, really. The youth, them want watch some big screen, make some TikTok dance and full joy themselves. Because the youth, them are not. But the generation that is analog, that is still coming from that ancient sea, they are passing from the earth now. And they want to see what they've worked their whole life for in this time. And this is where we find ourselves as the global community, which is why you look and you say, why can't they stop the wars them from spreading? That's not their intention, family. I'm telling them, say, we have to be prepared. It's okay. We're not taking no side, because we take the side of the Almighty. Our side done set by His Majesty, which is peace and security, and this is why we have to build the alternative before the crash, because the crash is coming. But if we have nothing built, what are we going to do?
What is the space exploration and the space travel of the super rich? What is it about?
They want to find a new place, as Max Romer
because
said.
Because they know that they are willing to destroy the earth, and they want to capture a new place and plant them flag there and find a place where have oxygen and water. That they must search for, or see if they can manufacture oxygen or water at that place.
Most people.
And Musk is one of
Yeah, most people
Most,
don't know
most
what's happening at the International Space Station for years, where
yes.
all the world governments are collaborating on how to live in space and experiments that are happening. We just think that, you know, is a survival, but the elites of the planet have their own plans, and we are not a part of it. Most of I and I, you know what I mean, which is unfortunate. But His Majesty, as I say, one of the keys is, and I want to hear your sound on this, because I think the lessons that we have to learn from Victory Day, today is African Victory Day. One of the lessons we learn from His Majesty is, how do you navigate a righteous life as a person with wealth? Because remember, the problem we have is not the revolution. We have the revolution, but then the revolutionaries get corrupted. You know what I mean? You get in power, and then you become worse than the regime before you. What His Majesty shows, and you know, it says it's easier for a camel to enter to the eye of an eagle than for a rich man to enter Zion. His Majesty shows us how to thread the eye of the needle as a wealthy person. If the elites of the world followed Kadamawi Haile Selassie, there would be no war, no thing, there would be no poverty, no homelessness. All of these, and His Majesty was saying that all of the money spent on military budgets could be used to lift the standards of humanity. But again, the other elites don't have that vision. They look at it from a scarcity mentality, and they hoard and they want to eliminate. So this is why Haile Selassie is so important. What do I think of that, Congo Jerry?
Yeah, him give a great example. There are a few other people who have learned these things. Him give a great example of detachment
Yes.
from personal detachment from the wealth,
Yes.
and use it and put in mind how to use it for the benefit of those for whom you are responsible. Now, him can't do anything. He's not going to be able to do anything for all of the people in the world. You know. Yes, there are some things theoretically. If you invent a new cure for things that all the people in the world benefit, but physically, I'm not going. Even the richest one in the world, not going to be able to do something for every human being in the world. But those definitely for whom you are more closely responsible, you are able to put your mind and your resources to work for the benefit of those people, at the same time preserving yourself. You're not going to feed everybody and starve yourself. You're going to provide for your own well-being, but you don't need that much for your personal well-being. The rest of it you can employ for the benefit for all of the people for whom you are responsible. And other people around you who are your associates, your relatives, and your neighbor, and even the passerby will be, some of them will be affected by the good use that you put your resources to, at the same time enjoying life. And life is enjoyable every day. You can only enjoy life in the present. You can. Some people put them enjoyment thinking about tomorrow, but that is vain enjoy. That's what you call in vain. They're thinking about how you're going to win the 100 meters tomorrow, and the whole world going to be interviewing you, and so on. That is in vain. You can only live now and today, and therefore we are able to be happy every single day, not on the basis of getting a nice plate of food, not on the basis of winning anything, but just enjoy life every day. That's one of the things that I have learned in old age since the last 20 years and more.
Give
That
thanks.
you must enjoy the present, because you can't really enjoy the past or the future. And the most of the enjoyment in the present is being alive and being in contact with other people who is alive. Why it gives me pleasure to be here on this program now? Because I am in contact with other people who is alive and who I realize have the majority of the same values as myself. And by me and you reasoning here, other people can learn from what we'll get to understand. And every day we get to understand other things, and we share it and we interchange All the while you have to tell me to stick up in because there's something that you have to contribute. And the whole way, it's a teamwork. No one man has ever done any great thing by themselves.
No.
It's a team.
Yeah,
So
man.
teamwork is just being a part of a team. That's a source of enjoyment every day of life.
Every day.
Whenever we feel a little bit downhearted, if you just reflect on yourself, it's because what? You're either doing a contact with other people for a few hours, or you forget about the goodness of life that has gone already, which is a promise for the future. Anytime you feel downhearted, is forgetfulness. Once you remember the truth, and that's why meditate. The main purpose of meditation is to remember the truth. Just remind yourself of what is true. And
Serious.
you know, what is true is limitless. If we are enjoying truth here now so much, and truth is limitless, that means enjoyment is limitless. I don't need to have more enjoyment than the next person. I don't need to be the life of the party. I don't need to feel like I did enjoy the party more than anybody when we go home. But I don't think nobody enjoy themselves like me tonight at a party. I don't need to think that, that's a phase of life thinking that way, But
Yes,
afterwards, you outgrow that. That's immaturity.
Yes, I.
Yes, I.
Perfect. Let's go to the comments and see what the people are saying. Hamilton Brown, big up yourself. Lion Pride checking in. Blessed love, fam. Aya Rasa, give thanks. Blessed love, Rastafari. Adrian Williams said, King Selassie I is the Almighty without a doubt. Bless up yourself. Vincent Dunham says, Hail Jah, Hail Jah. Adrian Williams said, Blessed love, Rastafarians. I say Rastafari. I don't like the Farians too much, but we don't know. I love same way. Bless up, Jerry. A delicate.
Yeah, man, I want to be good brethren that in a Trelawney. In a Trelawney where some of your family did locate to.
Yeah, man. Alberto.
Delicate him name. Down in Clarkstown.
Okay.
Your grandfather was the wheelwright for Clarkstown. Wheelwright is man who specializes in making wheels as a special skill. Wheelwright and coach builder. Those are some special skills. That is the equivalent of the man who make car.
Yeah, man.
Because it's the same wheelwright and coach builder eventually used to make the first car body them. So your grandfather was a wheelwright.
Yeah,
in the same town. Yeah.
About my family. So this is a treat for I, just like everyone else, because he's my literal family, and him can tell me things that I don't know. We have a question. Streaky Bacon said, why after freedom in 1941 did 40 years later Ethiopians starve? We both can touch that, but I can go first.
Yeah, there was a famine. Sorry, there are famines in even the most fruitful countries in the world. And there was famine in Wallo region in 1971, 72, 73, and in other regions. And Haile Selassie learned about it and took measures, but he was not, many times, and I make no excuse Haile Selassie now. Most heads of government are not told everything that is happening in our country. And many things that he did are not reported, and many things that he did not know was also not reported. In 1968, there was a two big riot in Ethiopia amongst the students at university. One was against miniskirt. Haile Selassie have nothing to do with the miniskirt, But there was a fashion show at the university, and miniskirt was the big fashion at the time. And the Ethiopian students, although them mad and them never twin at the miniskirt thing. And them boo down the people and tell them to go with that. And them insist on go on. And afterward, they mash up the fashion show. And it led to days of riot in Addis Ababa. Some of the students that was anti-government and anti-royalty turned some of them words and them placard against the emperor. But that was a byproduct of the student unrest. There was another riot again another time. Family planning was allowed to come into Ethiopia. It's not everything Haile Selassie allow. him agree with our participating, you know. Haile Selassie serve drinks in him palace to him guest them, where him not drink. And Haile Selassie serve food in him palace where him not eat. And Haile Selassie keep things in him palace and feed people while he is fasting. Want anybody come dispute that with me? Haile Selassie has kept reception in him palace and serve food. And apart from that, many times serve food to visitor when he is fasting.
I have
Haile
spoken
Selassie.
to his family members and they say he ate like a bird, you know?
Yes.
Big little things, even when they give him a
Yes, yes.
plate, him just take
Yes.
little things, and that is how
Yes.
his majesty sip, you know?
Yes. And him sleep very little.
Yes.
So when I tell you say he allow family planning to come into Ethiopia, but him never advocate it. You understand me? People will say, why would a ruler allow something to come in a country when him never advocate it? Him not believe in a divorce. And yet, him married a woman who divorced 2 times before she married him. And each of us can look in ourselves and know of things that we allow or we don't bother open our mouth about it, that we don't subscribe to. But mostly when you get older and more mature, you even realize these things. And you even realize that when you was young, you did do some of these things too. You did act that way, loud things. Now me, hey, me in a radio from 1969, me a 21 year old, on and off.
Okay.
And I have an occasion where man when me know, my brethren, other man when me not know, other man when me know, but it's not my brethren. Call me program and say, hey Jerry, you're B man, you know.
Hot.
You know why? Because me tell them say, I am not able to eradicate homosexuality out of mankind.
Yes.
And I'm not going to join with nobody else where promise say, me going to eradicate that out of mankind. I don't like it, but I get to find say, it a go on tens of thousands a year before me born.
Yes.
And the Almighty, load them, but them get in them own trouble. But Almighty, then how me know when me realize that when me a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, me get to find say you have some little boy going like girl, you know.
Yes.
I have some little girl going like boy. Me learn that around my family friend them and all them way they me observe and see that, you know.
Yes.
And when we come at Kingston, me a 5-year-old. Come back at Kingston, me a 5-year-old. And I turn 60 months after me come back at Kingston. And I start there, me go a birthday party, friends. You know, you visit, in them time you have TV, you know, so people visit people once a week, you go visiting and there. Me go, me people them carry me go some like a birthday party, some like a girl and boy where them grow up with them parents and them want them children to be them. And me go to this like a birthday party. Some black people, but they're well up in our society. And all the little youth and myself, we are play cowboy and thief. That time we don't know, so we not for defend cowboy. No. We for defend Indian. But we are play cowboy Indian. And some youth are play police and thief. But one thing I know, I never like play police. I prefer play the thief. But we are play cowboy and Indian. And the girl them a jump jacks and a jump hopscotch and a play skipping rope. And the little boy we film birthday where he had to go. Him a beat the girl, him not jacks, and him jump the rope better, and him play hopscotch better than the girl. After me I play cowboy Indian about an hour and a half, you know. Only they step on the veranda, drink tea with them mother, cause society black woman them, you know. And I go up against my mother, like a 6-year-old boy, I go up against my mother and say, hey mommy, Robert, the ink can skip better than the girl them. And him beat the girl, him not jack. And my mother say, shut up, mother. She said quiet a little bit. Shut up, mother, to give me a little slap. I said, when I go home, I talk about that.
Yes.
And when I go home, I said, yo, and then me have a little girl, a little friend of the family, a girl. She come like Tom boy, you know. She can't climb any tree where boy, no, and she shoots slingshot. Some get to find say you have people that is have ways that is not characteristic. You know, I mean,
Yes.
them can't go and say it is not characteristic of most people of their type.
It's not the majority.
Yes, yes. And then now as I grow more older, I get to find out all kind of more things. And then I get to find out say that didn't go on some thousands a year before till a lot. Abraham cousin, you know. Abraham him cousin used to walk, you know, till them cattle get too much. Some of we not eat meat. But them time with forefather have thousands of cattle more than can count. And the cattle get enough that they can't walk together again. That's why them separate, you know. Them never have no quarrel, you know. Abraham and Lot separate deliberately for them cattle get too much. And Abraham got that way there and Lot go towards Sodom. And when him go towards Sodom and go settle in there, him hear say the government in there favor certain kind of thing. And he hear say Sodom is the city of that way, of the most of that in the world. And him not like it, you know, but him just keep to himself and him family. A little more a message come to him say, yeah, here now, leave out a day now, cause some destruction have reached there. And him not too believe in a little more a angel not carry wing, you know. A human being start draw good messenger with wing, you know.
Yes.
The angel, because
Angel
sometimes
mean messenger. Angel mean messenger.
messenger of good.
Yes, messenger
But
of good.
because them come up on you suddenly. There are people say, boy, I must fly them fly come. And sometimes them disappear suddenly. Like all the three wise man. Them say, boy, I must wing them. I hear a man say, boy, in company wings of the morning.
Yes, yes.
So human being build fables, you know. Build fables because personification is the next way that human being tell story. They make every quality into a person. So speed now you say, oh, him fast like bolt. You know, say bolt one bolt of lightning. And some people believe it, you know. And some people, Satan is not a real human, you know. Satan is a personification of a type of character.
Yes.
But human being, and it's very effective form of language. That language, even very language, is only human being blessed with that ability to construct language. And then two human beings have to decide for what a word. A word is not a useful thing. A word is not a useful sound until two human beings agree upon it, you know.
Yes.
So if you have a sound name, if you have a sound name rotten, you can go eat some fruit and you find something nice because you reach it late. And you say rotten. You have to go communicate to the next human being and say, rotten means say, it late man is spoiled. And when me tell you say it rotten, I remember me make a mark on the tree, because a human being really left message, you know. Left mark on the tree. Say the water in the spring there it's salt. Or the water in the spring they good. So we make a mark on the tree. Or if whole heap of cattle there nearby, we put a mark on the tree with some horn. Because in the letter A, it descends from a sign of a cow, you know, with two horns, you know. So that was the first letter, you know, it have a sound to it too. Anyway, long story short, language is one of the most intelligent thing where humans find them ability to construct language and then have them, because the animal them have language, you know, but it's not as refined and complicated as our own.
Yes,
You know, the animal can tell them one the other animal, you know. The 1 2 foot hunter different from the 4 foot hunter. They're both, you know, watch yourself, you know. And this one in can run fast like the 4 foot hunter, you know, but in tricky, you know. I'm about for two glass thing for them face, making can see all night, you know. You have some bird sound, make all I want that one, you know. Complicated message, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And the dolphin and all of them can. But I want to also touch on this question: why, after the freedom in 1941, did 40 years later Ethiopians starve? I would say,
man. Book, give your take. Give your take.
In my book, I start with something called the Kefu Khan, which is also known as the Evil Days, which was a 4-year famine that preceded the birth of His Majesty, the most dreadful famine in recorded Ethiopian history. 90% of the cattle died. 1/3 of all the humans died. Massive migrations from Tigray, Wollo, the same places. There was also accompanied by cholera, locusts, you name the calamity in this period. You know, they will start that the nation would collapse. And on top of this, Menelik was paying back a loan to Italy that was given to try to break the back. So he was working the people. There was no cows in the field, oxen in the field to plow. So Menelik himself pick up the plow, and as an example, them are pulling plow.
Example.
Yeah, so this was a terrible time in Ethiopia history. So the famine in 1970 is not uncharacteristic, first and foremost, of Ethiopia. And at that time, as Congo Jerry said, there was a propaganda campaign at play to try to get His Majesty off the throne. In 1973, after the Yom Kippur War, Ethiopia sided with Egypt and so became a pariah of the West because His Majesty
of Israel, yes.
Yeah, he expelled the Israeli ambassador and called his diplomatic team, which was huge because Israel and Ethiopia had a historic relationship, and His Majesty was taking a lot of flack from the Arab countries because of that relationship. He had Israeli specialists in the country that were doing projects and investments and things. So he was playing both sides. You know, he was trading with the West and the East. He was a champion of the non-aligned movement, which predated BRICS of today. But the non-aligned movement was all of the nations that didn't want to pick a side in the Cold War. So when he made that move, the West completely withdrew their support. The United States shut down the Kwagnu base in Eritrea, which was a major source of resource. They pulled out. They started this propaganda. The BBC sent in a reporter, is a famous reporter, to propagandize the famine and this whole narrative that His Majesty was feeding his lions while the people starved. His Majesty allowed the BBC and these reporters access because he thought they would bring international attention to help assist with the famine. Once he realized the scope, he was opening up for that assistance, but they turned that into an opportunity to smear. His Majesty was also a victim of his own success because of the modernization. The people were flooding in from the countryside into Addis. So you had a large unemployed population that were now being trained by foreign nonprofits to protest. Protest was not part of the Ethiopian culture or concept. They didn't have no concept to take the streets and do this. And this is documented by Hans Lackard in the Mission and other works that they show how both the Russians and the West were fomenting uprising in Ethiopia, the Cold War clash, to see who would control, because Ethiopia was the seat of the Organization of African Union, the United Nations Economic Commission. It was one of the central hubs of Africa at the time. So they say, who control Ethiopia control the resource base of Africa. So His Majesty get caught in this whole propaganda machine to turn the world, because remember, His Majesty was one of the most beloved world leaders, so they had to assassinate his character with this famine and this starvation narrative. Even Pan-Africanists to this day will bring up this type of rhetoric that was spread by the Western powers to undermine.
Most of those leaders, are educated men, and the education system is geared to turn you against a different form of education and development than what the West has started. Now, how did the children of Jacob go into Egypt and then send for their father and mothers and go into Egypt and settle in Egypt and remain there 400 years? How did that happen?
They were indistinguishable from the Egyptians.
No, but why did they go? Why did they leave where they were and go into Egypt and spend famine?
Yes.
They were not taken into Egypt under slavery. They were not enslaved. They went in there. They went and refuged into Egypt.
Yes.
And refuged there for 400 years.
And they were indistinguishable from the Egyptians. And Moses
exactly.
When Moses come, remember Moses is seen as a prince of Egypt, People don't know that he's a Hebrew. There's no, and he ruled in Sudan, and he went as far as Ethiopia on military campaigns, married an Ethiopian, he married two of his wives were Ethiopian. Because he married on the campaign, we learned that in Josephus, and then he married Zipporah, which was also a Cushite woman as well. And there was no difference in these people. And this is what I tell people, that when you're talking about the ancient Hebrews, these are people that are indistinguishable from the Egyptians of the time. When they found the seal of King Hezekiah, they found the Egyptian symbols on these things. Even the coronation, when you look, there's Egyptian symbology on the coronation items, on the scepter, and certain things. You know what I mean? Because the Nile Valley civilization is one contiguous culture. There are differentiations, different branches, but these are cousins. These are brothers. You know what I mean? Cush and Canaan are brothers. You know what I mean? And when you talk about Canaan, you're talking about the Phoenicians. You're talking about the Carthaginians. When you talk about Cush,
matter of fact, not only the northern coastline of Africa, but right around the Mediterranean,
yes,
the people them related and intermarry. And the Mediterranean people always have a high element of Swati people, dark-skinned people.
Yeah,
whether in Italy, whether in Portugal, whether in Spain.
The Etruscans in Italy were black, were the original Romans. You know, were black, the original Greeks that before they were pushed down by the Nordic waves of people that came down from the north. Yes, so this is the history that we have to share, because a lot of people don't understand, you know, when His Majesty, because remember, when we emerge into the modern light, there was only one people that could claim that bloodline, which was a black African nation, Ethiopia. When they emerged into the light, they were carrying that biblical tradition, because there was no other place that could say they had kings from the throne of David that could prove the unbroken line. His Majesty produced that for the Chicago Tribune, the bloodline. If you can't see that list, I think it's on the internet, where he gives his descendants reaching back to King Ori. You know what I mean? And you see many pharaohs in that bloodline. You see, you know, different Kushite kings and different things in the same Ethiopian monarchy, because it's one people.
Not only that, when Rome invaded Palestine 63 years before the AD era, the modern era, 63 years before them said Jesus born.
Yes.
Them invade Palestine, and that left Saba, the empire between on the two sides of the Red Sea. That left those places as the only place where there was Hebrew and Jewish blood that wasn't conquered by the Roman. The Roman conquered Gaza going up to Jordan.
Yes.
But them never conquer the highlands of Ethiopia and East Africa and down in Yemen.
This is why when Fragmentus came, the Syrian youths them that got captured by Emperor Caleb, this is why Christianity spread so fast, because they were already familiar with the tradition, and Christianity had already reached Ethiopia with the eunuch.
The eunuch went traveled about Palestine. He was the head of the finance department of the Queen of Sheba, you know.
Yes.
It was what them call him again. It was them about old time word in the Bible. Like the Minister of Finance. He went there on trade matters, you know. He was both on a pilgrimage, and him go on trade matters, traveling back and forth on behalf of the Queen of Sheba. A lineage of queen that was there for hundreds of years. And when him went to Jerusalem and going back home now, when the guy Philip buck him up and hear him I quote the Bible. Him a quote some prophecy say, one day a youth going to come born and rise up that going to train some other youth and throw the invader That's a part of Isaiah we promised that in Isaiah 53 and 54 and them places. So
Yes,
him
sir.
ride in them chariot and I read it like one man read a psalm on him journey. And Philip hear him and say, the Ethiopian there, him is a Jew, you know, and him have him Old Testament. And him a read, but I wonder if him understand, say, the prophecy him a read about, that prophecy manifest a few years ago here in Jerusalem.
Yes.
So Philip approached him and said to him, say, hey, Mr. You, no Ethiopian. Yeah, I wonder if you understand what you read. And the Ethiopian said to him, say, me I read some prophecy, but you when you say if me understand it, what you want to look like you know something, but you want to tell me about. How can I understand if somebody not explain to me? And Philip said, all right, me will explain. Him said the youth where you read about say I'm going to come free from the invader. Him born recently, you know. And him grew up to be 33-year-old and him start gather some away over the last 12 years and train way. But the Roman become aware of him and them hold him and crucify him. But after them crucify him and them go which part him body supposed to dead 3 days later. Him body missing and the Roman get afraid now. Say him never really dead on the cross. And all these things happen and there's a group of in Jerusalem where him used to train and we still here but we hide ourselves from the Roman. And when the Ethiopian hear all them things I realize the man I tell me say Isaiah 53 fulfilled recently and therefore the Roman thing can't last no much longer. And him went him way to Ethiopia rejoicing now. We got tell Ethiopian say the Old Testament some of it fulfill, you know.
Yes.
And that time in Ethiopia, you know, Ethiopia hear about the Roman invasion down in Palestine.
Yes, sir.
Because them was just a few 100 miles away and them hear about and Ethiopia knows eventually the Roman, every empire always want to expand and come upon them, you know. Like how many empires did invade Ethiopia before. So them they are afraid now that the Roman will come. Here's Ethiopia now, gone back in Ethiopia, gone reassure the people in Ethiopia, those of them, because not all of them was Jew or Falasha.
No.
Reassuring all of them, say, right, you know, say the prophecy about the Messiah fulfill and him build up an organization down about them the underground. All right, now the Roman afraid about them. Then he went back to Ethiopia rejoicing, and that is where, and from that time, and his majesty still talking him one word, and from that time, he is the first Ethiopian on record known to have followed Christ.
And so, that is key, that His Majesty endorsed that version of history.
Yes,
so for those who want to burn things, you're fighting against the king teachings, and that is where I part ways with them Wednesday. And I mean,
you use a proper word. Use a proper word. Them free for burn things, you know.
Yes.
And them free for disagree. But you have to part ways, not because you don't like them, but because you're going a different way. Part ways mean that Lot and Abraham never part ways.
Of course.
Lot and Abraham are cousins, you know. And them are good friend personally. And them part ways because them say, boy, we flock too heavy and this and that. But people part ways for different reasons. It don't mean I become enemy. It just means I'm going somewhere different. And when we go in a Saddam, yes, we agree to disagree. And when we go in a Saddam, go live and find out that them kind of government there. And the angel, man without wing, come one and say, come out of here because the place is going to mash up itself. Like how we know, say, America not well last 200 years more. Maybe not even 50 years more. I know there's a time where I have to go meet you in Africa, or maybe we meet at Jamaica. But I know that we're not going forever be meeting in America. And yet I'm not going to fight against somebody who wants to stay there next 100 years. I'm not going to fight them.
And remember that His Majesty call us home. His Majesty call us home, not theoretically, you know, with land and with resources. Practically. I mean, so it's not no fantasy trad. We have Sokor David who says, let me
let me stick one more. Let's stick one more pin.
Go ahead.
When Mandela was about to give up himself, because I'm hunting for years, you know. And when Mandela was about to give up himself, 1962, just like the Jesus about to give up himself, but himself, I'm going to choose the time. Not now. I'm going to choose the time when I'm ready. Mandela steal out of South Africa without a passport and travel as far as the northern coast of Africa and then leave from Egypt and go Ethiopia. And His Majesty receive him And him, just like how Malcolm X leave, say, them are kill me, but I go and make sure I reach Africa, and I go and go Ethiopia, and I'm going the way you Malcolm X too. Also, Mandela. And when His Majesty receive Mandela, His Majesty take out one of the senior command them army and make him spend 3 months to train Mandela in a military affairs. And when Mandela leave, His Majesty give him an Ethiopian passport and a submachine gun for himself.
Yes.
And
You're
him
right.
travel back to Ethiopia.
Yeah,
Mandela
wrote about it in his biography. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and so just like what he says, Majesty not only invite to back up him give land, him give people passport too, and him give people all kind of different things. And Mandela travel go back down in South Africa upon him Ethiopian passport, and when him reach back in Soweto, him bury the submachine gun in him yard. And him there prison for 26 and a half years. And them take him out of prison 2 years before and put him in a special place. And after him come out of a special place and free, as him reach a Soweto, him dig up the yard and try to find a gun. And him say, I'll not find it. Him not know if somebody find it or if him not look the right place. But him say him dig up almost all the yard. But you know, so sometimes I forgot things. But him only testify, say, Haile Selassie, just like in Luke 22, the last reasoning with the guy Jesus have with him disciple, him tell them, say, when I send you out, I send you out food and money. I never lack nothing. But this time is a different time. People are going to hunt you. Carry food with you. Carry money. People now got God to put you up for the night. People are afraid. And who don't have a sword, sell your garment and buy a sword. Same way His Majesty give Mandela a passport and a submachine gun.
Serious.
And him give people Bible too. According to the time, him give people the appropriate thing.
I saw the Bible he gave to Howard University, and this is why I never burn the Bible, because I see it, me touch the Bible where Howard University have with gold leaf, embroidery and all these things. You know what I mean? It's a serious trad, it's a real life trad, and this is why I left this comment up for it, so it could marinate. Sokor David says, from my experience, most Rasta don't do any research or dig for information about him. It's so true, and it would make you so much firm if you just do the research fullness. Big up yourself, Adrian Williams. Kenny say, true Bongo preach. You know what I mean? Blessed victory, Iowa to all I and I in the platforms. Ras Pancho are representing South America. Bless up yourself.
Yes, Pancho Villa.
Yes, love the reasoning, Kenny. Yes, we love the reasoning. Consciousness in man, God in flesh. Yes, I. Sokor David said, I have a copy of the selected speeches of him, the one with the blue covers, and states this book can be copied by whatever means without permission, printed in Ethiopia. Yes, spread the word.
It's the first book, it's the first author. As much as it's the first author I ever say, you can copy this book freely, and you don't have to ask me no permission.
Aye, spreading the
and
word.
same way like how you say you love the Bible, we know that the Bible was suppressed by Rome for more than 300 years. We know that things have been tampered in there, and we know that all kind of things are going on. But as His Majesty say, if you read it for yourself, you will find truth in other words. Him say you will find the true things in there.
Yeah, man.
Him knows that them tamper with it, you know. But they can't tamper with it completely.
It did it. Only idiots dismiss the Bible. Adrian Williams, big up yourself. But how do you get countries to divert military budgets for housing, education, and healthcare? This is the question we have even right now. It's serious. The teaching of the King of Kings is the way for mankind in this time. Ewan Crooks, big up yourself, family. We learn from each other. Big up yourself, Sukor, Lion Pride on Patreon. Checking in, gain at me. Our Haitian sister says, so true.
Well, so glad to hear, because I was going to say, I don't hear nothing from the sisters, but you interpret and know as a Haitian sister. That's great.
Man. These are my regular Lion Pride. We have a family here on the live. So we're building a community, you know what I mean? Johnny Johnson, El Paso, Texas, Mexico, tuning in to the vibes. Johnny Johnson is one of our elders who know enough people to. Adrian Williams, yes, Aya, Sukor David say animals communicate. Selassie I checking in from
Yes,
Australia. Highly greetings. Celebrating
yeah.
African victory. We have Australia checking in. Can I get your book on Amazon? Yes, Kenny, it's on Amazon, but you can get it from the website. We prefer you get it from the website. Amazon take a whole heap of money from off of it. Please ask Uncle Bongo Jerry to address the Catholic Pope Church, stating that there hasn't been a black African Pope in the Catholic Church for the last 1600 years. Will the new Catholic Church Pope be an African? Question asked Bongo Jerry, and then we're going to seal up shortly. But answer, do you think this new Pope will be an African?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't be caught by that either. Because as you know, Rome invaded Palestine 63 years before the man we call Jesus born. Jesus is not a white man, but it's the same Rome who invade Palestine and crucify him. Them same one take control of the book, and 300 years later, them declare themselves to be Christian and try to change the complexion of everything in the Bible, including the Jesus complexion. So no, it's not one time opponents and invaders have taken over the culture and religion of the people where them invade and turn it around. This is a form of warfare. In warfare, you try to capture the people and even them literature. Why do you think people used to burn libraries and burn down university?
Yes.
They want to replace it. So they, after them crucify the man, them find say him followers was getting more and more, and even some Romans start to believe in the things where he teach. So for 300 years, them suppress the group of people call themselves Christians, suppress them and them have to hide underground secretly, but like a secret society.
Yes.
And them find that the more them suppress it, like with Gabi, the more they persecute Gabi, the more followers are grow. Them announce his Majesty dead in 1975. And Rastafari numbers multiply more when them hear say his Majesty dead. So Rome now decide after 300 years, and then find out say and one set of Roman army a rebel against the dictator when the name Constantine.
Yes.
One of him colleagues had a rebel against him to take over from him, And him go meditate and go dream in himself, say, say, if you go say, turn Christian, and declare say you're Christian. And put the Christian symbol in the head of the army. Next time your army and female army clash, them all frighten or run away. And him take that dream where him get, where him say him get dream, for turn Christian and declare himself Christian. And defeat him enemy. And afterwards, he make that religion, the same one that him did a persecute. Don't be surprised if you hear the Jamaica government approve Rasta. You know, hear them all approve Rasta as a religion now. Babs the Grange and the minister them up and down with Ermias. I take them one take over and use Rasta, by clinging with Ermias. And by Sizzla, one of the great reggae artists, is one of them strongest done for the Jamaica Labour Party and government. I usurp them or I usurp Rasta. And they have tried it with many others. Many Rasta have been used, like when a woman or a man seduce a woman or a woman seduce a man and win them over. But it's the same thing Constantine and Rome did in 300 AD. And after that, now them not release the Bible. Them have the Bible with them keeping in the church and lock it up in a cabinet with a strong lock on it. And even 1600 odd, 1200 years later after all England turned Catholic, the Bible still was locked up in a church. It's only because one of the English king did want to marry a divorced woman, where the Rome never had allowed them for divorce. And I saw the King Henry VIII, him go broke and make church for England and go translate Bible in English to everybody can read. But Bible they never want everybody read Bible. Because when everybody read Bible, say you're not supposed to bow down to no master.
Yes.
And bow down to no Lord. and no bishop, you know, bow down to no earl and no duke.
That is it.
So
And,
that's why,
that is why they call it the Dark Ages, because all
yes,
reading and books and things were banned. You know what I mean? The
yes,
Catholic Church had an iron grip on
yes.
Europe and the
But them
world.
wasn't really a church. Them wasn't
No,
really a church.
it was a
Them was
Roman
a state
Empire.
religion.
Yeah, it was a
Yes,
Roman Empire disguised itself after the Germans beat them up. And
yes.
now the
Just like how
Vatican.
others go disguise themselves as Jew, the
Yes,
Romans disguise themselves as Christian.
that is it. So,
Them knows that the Ethiopian is the closest thing to Hebrew. Rome now claim to be Christian. A little more England claim to be Jew. England and the Jew them in Europe claim to be Jew, so that them can claim Jerusalem.
yes.
So
But these are,
anytime you claim a book, you know, the same book, the Bible is like a title deed, a land title, you know. So if you're going to claim the Bible, it's title you claim now, so you can go occupy all of the early Christian land. You still hearing me?
yes, I hear
Yeah,
the
yeah. If most book is a testament, you know. All right, what
yes.
name Old Testament and New Testament? What is a testament?
Yes, it's like a last will and testament. It's
Yes,
your,
that is what a testament is. A
yes,
testament is the will of someone telling you what him want to be done with him possession when him finish this life. So when the Roman grab the Bible, it's a testament them grab the now to go claim the whole world as for them land title, you know.
yeah, man.
So
The
we
law
can
of
understand.
manifest, the law of manifest destiny. You know,
Yes,
it
yes, yes.
arises from these things. So I give thanks. One last comment here. Global greetings. Yasan Tafari logging in here from Farmersville, California, but originally from St. Kitts and Nevis. Big up the St. Kitts and Nevis family. All of the ones them, mighty thanks. um you know, this is just a taste. I can't keep Bongo Jerry all night. He's very kind, but I have to balance so that he will answer my phone calls when I call him in the future too. You know, we have to balance. So I just want to give you an opportunity to say some final words on this glorious African Victory Day. A lot of controversial statements here have been made to the mainstream. They're not controversial to Rastafari. These are our faith protected by the First Amendment. I want to make that clear. Also, I know that this video will be demonetized by the algorithm once you talk about certain prophecy and certain thing. But again, this is the importance of having Rastafari independent, non-aligned media, because we have to put our own narrative in the public so that people know what time it is, where are we on the timeline, and how we need to come together. Make sure you follow the website, because there could come a time where we get kicked off of YouTube. We don't own these platforms. They may not like what we're saying, so make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. You know, we may change platforms over time. YouTube is what we want to stay with because it's the largest. We can reach the most people the easiest, but we don't own YouTube. We don't have no illusion. So Lion Pride, if you're serious about the movement, join us. Make sure we have your email direct to consumer. So if you get kicked off one day, you come and see the channel gone, we can send you an email, say we're over here, we're on Rumble, or we're gone on Vimeo, or we're gone on the next platform. But it's very important that we build our community and we stay together. So make sure you register. If you can support the platform economically, sending us strength, we are pushing a concept called radical collective economic security, meaning don't wait till you have big money. $1, $5, $10, direct it. If not at the guess, you know, make sure that we are pumping that fiat currency into the movement and that it's not just coming into our hand and then going back out to pay bills. We have to make sure that we redirect. That is our power right now. The power is with the people. My vision is if my 40,000 people in the Lion Pride give $10 to one guest, That's almost $500,000 that guests would walk away with in under 2 hours. Think about what we could do if we did that 4 times a month, and spread that type of capital within our Rastafari ecosystem. And then we ask those ones to employ other Rastafari people. Now we shake the creation. So this is not just about watching the platform, and yes, we love the history, but make we put some money in Bongo Jerry hand as an elder. You know what I mean? That he can, if he has a work or something that he's pushing, we support that, and him walk away and him have that where he can employ some young youth to transcribe his memoirs and these things where we need to get right now. So we want to change the mindset, because sometimes we feel helpless. We are not sheep. We are no longer the lambs to the slaughter. We are the lions that come to conquer. And we're telling our own story. We're building our own narrative. But we have to put our money together. Alone, we cannot do it. And the government will not fund our liberation. Reparation will not come until they see we are self-sufficient and that we don't need their money. That is when they will give you reparation. They're not going to empower you to be on their same level. That's never happened in the history of the world outside of His Imperial Majesty. The wealthy have been very clear how they operate. His Majesty is the one exception, and this is why he was worthy to be praised. When John looking at the vision and him said there was no one found worthy, they were weeping. And the angel come and say, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. It's the works of His Majesty make we heal him. It's not His Majesty come and say, I am the Almighty, follow me and bow down. No, never happened that way there. It's from Lich to Farai where him start raise the standard of people as a little youth, and people start being when him organized Harar to be the most efficient kingdom in the empire, and Menelik take notice and said, this youth raise the revenue like that. This youth of the Muslims was fighting us, you know what I mean? So calm and I support the reforms and building hospitals and schools. This is the revolution that was led by Kadamari Haile Selassie I, the first, this Christ consciousness that we witness on camera. So we need to exemplify the works of Kadamari Haile Selassie again, spreading the money amongst each other, radical economic collective security. We're coining that phrase. You're not helpless. You have $1. 40,000 people even with $1 to a guest. That guest leave with 40,000 US dollar. You think that guest cannot use that to build their business? So let us think conscious people. We have power more than we can imagine. We are not helpless to watch this Armageddon unfold, but we have to build physical institutions. Where's our Rastafari school? Where's the Rastafari health center? Where's the Rastafari library or Trueberry? Where's the Rastafari roads and the Rastafari parks and the Rastafari this and that and that and that and that? It costs money to build these things, so make it think constructive. All right, Congo Jerry, give us your final word sound to the global Rastafari family, and then we will bring you forward for our next edition for some other history.
Well, thanks to have me here again, and I'm speaking not just to Rastafari family, but to all of the, especially African people, dispossessed, and all other people, humanity, but especially to our African people dispossessed, as the Rastafari is a service, like a military service and like a health service.
Yes.
It seems for years and hundreds of years, and people repeat it every day, that the African people, the black people, don't like to organize, don't like to unite. But I know that there is a time and a season for everything. And very sooner than most people think, there is going to be a change in the game where you see a willingness growing so fast for people to combine, not just to link up, combine, meaning join together for a purpose, like how the parts of a vehicle combine. Soon and suddenly, you're going to see a willingness to unite, combine, organize, cooperate, produce, and take care of one another from food to physical security, education, and all those other things. So you're going to be surprised. Just like how them have YouTube, you're going to see that no one can stop the iTube that is coming and many other things.
Yes, I.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kwasi.
Yeah, man. Thank the I'm honored every time. I'm in awe of your recall, the encyclopedic memory and recall dates, everything. You know what I mean? That really powerful. And I'm, as I say, I am humbled that you would honor us with your presence repeatedly. And we are honored. And again, I showing the global family the value of Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media. We are here. We're not going anywhere. So make sure you lock in. We have Ross Benji from Fairfield House in Bath, England. The Bridget who manages Fairfield House. His reasoning will drop tomorrow on the channel. He's talking about His Majesty time in Bath. So we'll go more in depth into what His Majesty had to endure, having no money, having to sell silverware to raise money, to run the facility, all of the humiliations that he had to endure and how he had to humble himself and still rise, all of that coming tomorrow. So we are just getting started, family. Lock in. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's voice. Rastafari.
Yes, sir. Yes, man.
This is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are.